Drop by drop, moment by moment, a river forms high in the alpine region of one of the most majestic mountains on earth. Known as Mount Rainier to many, as Tahoma by the first people to live along its slopes, it holds the cradle of one of the most important watersheds in our nation, the Nisqually River. It begins at the Nisqually Glacier on the mountain's southwest slope. Buried deep beneath shards of falling rock and dust from the volcano's cone, its dusty covering draws heat from the sun and transmits warmth to the ice below. Today the sun's warm and the drops come quickly and merge together, and the river's 78-mile-long journey begins. A circuitous route to the sea, full of cascades and riffles, switchbacks, oxbows, and bends. The Nisqually is the only river in the United States with its headwaters in a national park and its mouth in a national wildlife refuge. It is one of a handful of rivers in western Washington still bordered on both sides by large tracts of coniferous forest and open expanses of native prairie lands. Less than an hour's drive from two burgeoning metropolitan centers and spanned by Interstate 5, the Pacific Northwest's most heavily traveled superhighway. The river's setting somehow remains pastoral, a patchwork of farm fields and pastures, public parks and open spaces, placid ponds and shimmering lakes. The river's apparent health is no accident. Neither are the rich timberlands from which millions of board feet have been logged, nor the healthy runs of salmon that return to the Nisqually and its tributaries to spawn every year. Such signs of vitality can be attributed in significant measure to the concerted stewardship of land and water in recent times. Efforts to conserve the Nisqually watershed have not been motivated by crisis or confrontation, but from the desires of public and private stakeholders to conserve the unique characteristics of this valued watershed.
That's the real challenge to people, as to how we can cooperatively work together to allow human beings to continue to live and to work and to make progress there, and at the same time protect the remarkable salmon resource and the other water resources that use the river. I think the Nisqually is the place better suited for that kind of protection than any other watershed I know of in the state of Washington.
More than half of Washington's original wetlands have been destroyed or are seriously altered. Only after their disappearance do we recognize the value as nurseries for juvenile salmon and other aquatic organisms, as anchors against shoreline erosion, filters for particles and pollutants, and barriers to flooding. Most of the Nisqually River Delta was acquired by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and designated as the Nisqually National Wildlife Refuge in 1974. This has ensured that the Delta has retained its ecological integrity, remaining a safe haven for watershed wildlife while providing important aesthetic, educational, and passive recreational opportunities for people. It is here at the Delta that the journey ends today, for the pristine drops from the glacier over 10,000 feet above and for the contributions from the creeks and tributaries throughout the watershed. The story of the overall wellness of the Nisqually watershed is one that needs to be shared with many people, both here and in other places where watersheds are endangered. By working together, we can help save the world's watersheds, passing the gift of productive land and clean water to future generations. But we need your help to do so. With your contributions, we can tell the story of the Nisqually watershed and help others understand how every action, human and natural, is interrelated. Within a watershed, we all live downstream.